I have come today as a visitor from the US. And we're all visitors in this life. Tomorrow, very soon, it could be today, we're going to meet Allah Azza wa Jal. What have we prepared for that moment? Especially that we live in a non-Muslim country where the challenges are so big. But nothing is bigger than Allah Ta'ala. Nothing whatsoever. Allah is greatest, Akbar. The good news, the great news, the greatest of all the news is that we have Prophet Muhammad. It's a great ni'mah to be a Muslim. That's a great ni'mah. But the greatest of all the bounties, of all the ni'am, is not Islam. Islam is just the deen. The greatest of all the ni'am, of all the bounties, from all the blessings from Allah Ta'ala, is the one who has brought this ni'mah of Islam. The one who gave everything for the sake of this deen to spread all over the planet until the day of judgment. Until today, and for generation to come, until the end of days. End of time. Today, we are in the month where we commemorate the noble birthday of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. It's not something that you do on a single day or a single month. It's something that you do every day, every moment, day and night, every month, until you meet Allah Azza wa Jal. We're just visitors in this life. And the question is, how do you follow the Prophet, the Messenger, the best of creation ever in a non-Muslim country? The answer is to mention him and to pray for him every day. That's number one. Number two is to learn his deen, his risala, his message. Number three is to live by this message. Number four is to promote that message. How do you do this in a non-Muslim country? Especially the US and the UK, where the most serious decisions that affects hundreds of millions of lives, that affects so many countries are made. And we Muslims are part of it. You need to know this. Those decisions that are made at the highest levels, whether the US or the UK, they are made on behalf of their citizens. We are one of those citizens. So, what is our role? In light of this big question, how do you follow Prophet Muhammad ﷺ? Well, let's examine first and foremost, what was his number one focus, preoccupation, concern every day? What was it? His relationship with his Lord. التوجه الدائم والمستمر لله عز وجل. التضرع التذلل بين يدي الله عز وجل. دوام ذكر الله عز وجل. في كل حين كان لا يفتر صلى الله عليه وسلم عن ذكر الله عز وجل. حتى في نومه عليه الصلاة والسلام. Let's look at, learn from, and live by the way his relationship with his Lord was. Because that's the key to all the good. That's the key to everything that we want to do in our lives, in this country. His relationship with his Lord was strong, very strong, always in total, complete submission to his Lord, always praying to his Lord, Allah Azza wa Jal, in constant remembrance of Allah Azza wa Jal, praying at night, Qiyamul Layl, every night, standing before Allah Azza wa Jal, showing his weakness and he's the messenger, and his humbleness and his need before Allah Ta'ala. That's the true definition for ubudiyah. Always asking for forgiveness, even though he's the messenger, forgiven all of his sins, past, futures, and what kind of sins the Prophet has. And he would ask more. Why? To strengthen that bond with Allah Azza wa Jal. Because if you are with Allah Azza wa Jal, everything will be at your service. If Allah Azza wa Jal is with us, then we have all the blessings. We have the ultimate success. As a person, as a child, as a father, as a mother, as a spouse, as an employee, as a citizen, as a da'iyah, as a professor, as anything. He understood it and he lived by it. So we look, examine, and live by the way his relationship with Allah Ta'ala was. Number 2, we look and learn and live by the way his relationship was with God's creation. I am saying creation. I'm not saying just the people. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. And we have sent you but as a mercy to not mankind, not the people. Al-Alameen, we say Al-Alameen every day, more than 17 times a day in Surah Al-Fatiha. What does that mean? Al-Alameen means anything but Allah Ta'ala, and everything but Allah Ta'ala. That which we know and that which we don't even know, what Allah has created in his universe. And this is exclusively attributed to the Messenger Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, that he was sent but as a mercy to all the worlds. He was so caring, so merciful to the people, the planet, the plants, the animals, to the jinn, to everything. So caring, so concerned. And that applies very much to us as Muslims, as Americans, as you British living in non-Muslim country. If you want to follow the Prophet ﷺ, we should care about the human being outside there, out there. That human being is your brother and sister in humanity. Period. He, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, said, one of you, the hadith, I'll say it in Arabic first. لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يحب لأخيه ما يحب لنفسه. Let's ponder, let's reflect. Quran is all about reflection. Quran and Wahi, Quran and Sunnah, they're both Wahi. All about reflection. Let's pause for a moment because we don't have time. We're going out there, no time. So busy. This is a precious, priceless time when you come to the masjid. You have a time to pause, to reflect on your relationship with Allah Ta'ala, on your faith, on your journey towards Allah Azza wa Jal. Let's reflect on this hadith. It applies very much to us in a non-Muslim country, whether the US or UK. The hadith says, one of you, the iman, the faith, the belief of one of you is not complete, is not perfect, unless he loves for his brother that which he loves for himself. It applies to both brother and sister. Now, I thought that brother in this hadith, akhihi, I thought that it meant brother in Islam. But then I learned that was not the case. It means your brother and sister in humanity. So if we Muslims living in the West, in a non-Muslim country, we want to fully and completely follow the Sunnah and the teachings and the practices and the traditions of our beloved Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we should look at our non-Muslim fellow citizens, British or Americans, as our brothers and sisters in humanity. And it makes full sense. Why? Because again, number one concern that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was what? Was guidance. To who? To Arabs only? No. To Muslims only? No. To everyone. So it makes full sense that we should consider them as brothers and sisters in humanity. So we care about their akhirah, their hereafter. And what is the best thing that we love for ourselves? Just think. A Mercedes? A house? No. What is the best thing that we Muslims should love for ourselves? It's Islam, it's Hidayah, it's guidance. Because it's the key to success, to true success, not just temporary success, to true success, to complete success, to everlasting success. Success that lasts beyond this life. Success that brings you and takes you to the real success, which is meeting Allah Azza wa Jal in the best state of righteousness. We also follow the Prophet ﷺ in this country by examining, looking at his relationship with society. As a society, we are a non-Muslim society. Was the Prophet ﷺ actively engaged in society or isolated from society? Actively engaged, caring about the well-being of everyone, whether Muslims or non-Muslims. Because that's the beauty of Islam. That's how people embrace Islam. Because they look at your Islam in action. Words are very important. Promoting Islam in words is important but not enough. Is necessary but is not enough. People want to see Islam in action. And they can see Islam in action in everything you do. Whether you're a physician or a cab driver, you can promote Islam through your profession. If you excel at your profession as a doctor or teacher or cab driver or employee or nurse, and you do it well with honesty, integrity, and serving people, care about people, that's a powerful way of da'wah. And there are people who embrace Islam just because of that. There are countries who have embraced Islam just because of the good akhlaq, character of the Muslims. You can do it. You don't have to be a scholar to do this. That's the good news. That's another way to promote Islam and to follow the way of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, to be engaged in society. We ask Allah Ta'ala for all blessings and for all guidance and support. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أفضل المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه وإخوانه وحزبه أجمعين. I have more good news for you. We have a lot of good news. As a Muslim, there is all good news. Just the fact that you're a Muslim, that's the great news. That's super news. The fact that you're guided. The fact that your messenger is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that's a great news. That's something we should be proud of and happy about every single moment. Just the fact. But the key question today is we want to be a true representative of him. sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We have that responsibility, that amana, to be his true representative on this land of ours. This is our country, well, your country. My country is the US, your country is here. You should feel it in the bottom of your heart so that you care about it and show the beauty of Islam in it. A moment is like a cloud. Wherever he goes or she goes, pours water, blessings. So you're here, it's Allah's decision that you be here. This is your country. Show the best of Islam in it and be a true representative of it. Now, I said so many things. I said, this is great. I really want to do this. I want to follow the Prophet ﷺ's way, strengthen my relationship with Allah Ta'ala. I want to do this. This is great. I want to be so bonded with my Lord. I want to be so actively engaged in society. I want to be so good to my parents. Parents. Very important. I forgot to mention this. Whether they're Muslims or non-Muslims, you should care about your parents. Whether they're dead or alive, you should care about your parents. A righteous child who prays for his parents is one of the only 3 types of deeds that stays with you when you pass away, when you die. Which is great news. Even if your parents have passed away, you can still make them happy and benefit them if you are, notice, pay attention please. The hadith says, a righteous child. Does not say a child. We usually focus on the dua part. Yeah, we should make dua for our parents. That's great. You should make dua for your parents. That's absolutely necessary. But if I make dua and I'm not making my salah on time, that's a problem. So righteousness is more important because dua is only part of being righteous. That's the great news. You can make your and benefit and make your parents happy. You can make up for anything if they passed away. Just be a righteous child. Parents, your family, your spouse, be so good to all of these. How Prophet ﷺ was so best to his wives, to children, to everyone, and everything. And so now you say, well, how am I going to do this? I want to do all of this, but I found myself so weak. We go back again to the Prophet ﷺ to tell us how to do this. Al-mu'minu ضعيف بنفسه قوي بإخوته. The believer is so weak by himself, is so strong with his brothers. عليكم بالجماعة فإنما يأكل الذئب من الغنم إلا القاسية. Here's again the Prophet ﷺ giving us the key so we can strengthen our faith, so we can strengthen our resolve, so we can strengthen our determination, so we can put all of these great things in action. What is this other hadith? This is the strong hadith. All the hadiths are strong. They're all wahy from Allah Azza wa Jal. This hadith says, Prophet ﷺ, very direct, very strong message. You should join a jama'ah. Because, the hadith continues, you should join a jama'ah for the wolf snatches only the solitary sheep which is away from the flock. I only have 2 minutes to say one of the most important things I want to say today. That we Muslims should have no fear in our hearts towards no one except Allah Azza wa Jal. Some of the people, whether in the US or in the UK, who want and wish harm to us, who have agenda, they want us to be so scared, they want to put fear in our hearts, they want us to believe and think that Islam is a private matter that stays in the mosque. Be careful, don't join any jama'ah, no, organization, no, that's... Yeah, of course, I'm not going to join any jama'ah that uses violence, absolutely not. But I have to be with a jama'ah, I have to join an organization that is led by the righteous people. that have a correct interpretation of the Quran, that puts Islam into practice, taking into account our country of being a non-Muslim and taking into account our time, which is the 21st century. I'm not going to join anything. Never, ever has Islam been promoted through violence. Never, ever had our number one role model, beloved Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, never had he promoted Islam through violence. It does not work. However, on the other hand, we should build and join strong Islamic organizations, because through them we can strengthen our iman, because that's the key that the Prophet ﷺ tells us to use. As-suhbah wal-jama'ah, righteous companionship and organization, organized community. Otherwise, I might be that solitary sheep that away from the flock, that the wolf will snatch me. And there are so many wolves out there. Be with your brothers and sisters. Be with the believing men and women. Because if you are with the righteous people in a strong jama'ah that uses the correct interpretation of Islam, does not use violence as a way of a change, that is strongly bonded with Allah Ta'ala, then you have everything you need to be so bonded with Allah Ta'ala, to be a strong believer, to prepare for your meeting and returning to your Lord in the highest state of righteousness.